Hello, hello. Hopefully you guys can see me on YouTube right now. This is something that I'm going to try to do way more often. So we shall see how it goes. Let me know once you guys tune in. Say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If y'all didn't know, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. Well, I'm in the St. Louis, Missouri area. I live in Illinois now, actually. Hey, y'all. There y'all are tuning in. Hello, hello. So I have these earphones on, not because obviously I can hear anything, but because my husband, he be downstairs talking and it distracts me. So yes. Um, where are you guys tuning in for? So finally get to see you live. What's up? So one of my like big goals this year, I think my husband just went downstairs. I have two big goals. So one of my big goals this year is to be on YouTube more consistently. So I've been pretty consistent as of lately on YouTube for the most part. But I want to be more strategic and more intentional with how I show up on YouTube and more importantly, like what I'm talking about on YouTube and things of that nature. So that's a big goal for me. And I want to incorporate more of these lives. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know I go live on there all the time. Instagram is kind of like my safe place, ironically, because I started on YouTube. I was on here way before I was on Instagram, but Instagram has become kind of my safe place on the internet, and I really want to get back to being on YouTube more often. So that's one of my first goals. And then the second goal that I have this year is to really create a more thorough content strategy. So I'm pretty great, personally speaking, at content, but I want to be even greater at content this year. So one thing that I'm really trying to focus on is long form content like YouTube's and just breaking that content up into smaller, more digestible pieces of content. So for you that aren't too familiar with me or my teaching style or things like that, I can be pretty wordy, but not in a bad way. I am very wordy when it comes to just needing to get my point across. And I don't like leaving parts out. I don't like trying to leave a part out. You know, some coaches try to leave a part out because that's the part they want to sell to you in a class, in a course, in a book, so on and so forth. I can't do that well. So I really wanted to put myself back on a platform that allows me to say what I want to say and in the capacity that I want to say it. And the video can be as long as I want it to be, because let me tell you, who cannot get their point across in a 90-second reel? It's me. It's just not for me. So I am going to be on YouTube a lot more this year. And if y'all see me disappear from YouTube, I need y'all to hold me accountable because no, I cannot fall off the bandwagon this year. So that is the plan, and that's the plan. So anywho, the title. I saw somebody comment that they saw the title already. The title is, do you need more information, inspiration, or implementation in 2024? Let me know in the chat which one, if any, you think that you need: information, inspiration, or implementation. I'm very curious to know. Personally speaking, I need more information in this season. There's not a ton that there's not a ton that I don't understand about the business that I'm in or the industry that I'm in, but I want to understand it even better than how I currently understand it. I feel like I'm at a point now in the business where it works because I understand the parts of it that I'm utilizing, but I feel like there are things that I still don't know or areas of the business that I haven't tackled yet because I'm not super duper clear about it just yet. So for example, influencer marketing, I've probably been saying for 2 years straight that I was going to work with influencers, and I still haven't gotten around to it because I'm the type of person that I just need to know what I'm walking into to the greatest capacity. Sure, I won't know everything, but I just really want to understand it before I do it, and I want to know what my options are. So like I have these things that I just need more information about before I can do it, you know? So that's what season I'm in. I need more information. I don't need any inspiration. I'm really great with implementation as long as I have enough information. So let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see, what are you guys saying? Implementation and information. Someone said all information. I need all three. Okay, mostly implementation. Okay, shout out to y'all for knowing what you need in this season of life, because let me tell you, a lot of people have no idea. And if we're being honest, like a lot of people think that they know what they need, but it really boils down to these three things. You either need more information, and that's why you just sitting still. You don't know where to start, so you need some inspiration, or you got information, you've been inspired, now you just got to do it. That's it. It's not a I need a platform. It's not a I need a website designer. It's not I need a model, so on and so forth. It's just to do it, you know? If you already know what you need, you just got to go out and do it, you know? So, I guess this live will be semi-informational, a bit inspirational, and educational, I guess you could say. So first and foremost, I got some notes in front of me because y'all know back in the day, I used to show up to every YouTube video with notes, and I'm getting back to that because I feel like I get my point across even more so when I have my notes in front of me. So I was watching a video earlier this month or earlier this week, this week, this month, this year. And the person that was speaking, he said this quote that said, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. And I thought that was such a great quote because when we start a business or when we do something for the first time or when we're trying to enter into a new market or whatever the case may be, a lot of people stop in their tracks or never actually do that thing because they're scared that they won't win. They're scared that they're going to lose. They're scared that they're going to fail. And therefore, they never do the thing that they actually, in fact, want to do. They're so focused on succeeding that they can't focus on just doing the thing and learning from the experience. So the quote said, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. And I think that's such a great way to word it instead of it being sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. Because sometimes when you don't win or when you don't succeed, it's so important for you to just see it as a learning opportunity and see it as a stepping stone in your journey or in your process versus it being like, dang, that did not go the way that it was supposed to. I'm a failure. I can't do this. This is wrong, so on and so forth. Like, worst way to go into business. And so something that I feel like has always been a positive point on my side or on my shoulder is that I don't think about losing. I only think about learning. I came into both of my businesses fully understanding that I had no idea what I was doing because I had never done it before. I had never owned a business. I had never had an online business. I had never been like the only employee in a business. There was just so many things that I did not know, and it was an experience that I had never had. And so therefore, I had to really take a step back and give myself permission to learn and ultimately lose. But I like to think of it as a lesson. So you learn a lesson through your mistakes. You learn a lesson through the things that go wrong. And all you got to do is keep going. All you have to do is make a mental note of what happened and go on with your day and with your business, right? So again, I named this live, do you need more information, inspiration, or implementation? Because I truly believe that those are the three things that every business owner needs to get going or to keep going. And I want to break down each of those three things, not necessarily from the dictionary, but just like in words, because I think that, we can just form our own definitions about things, but I'm going to define them in my own words, and y'all let me know how y'all feel in the chat, child. Hey, y'all. So, information. Information is just basically knowledge that lives inside of your head. That's it. It's just knowledge that lives inside of your head. It's in your brain, but ultimately it needs to be applied. So there are so many people who are literally right now in this very moment sitting in information overload, and they're just like, I don't know where to go from here. I know the things, I've learned the things, or I think I know all the things, but I don't know where to go from here. And we're going to talk about information overload in a second. So information, we all have information. Y'all, a lot of y'all have been following my YouTube channel for probably years at this point. You have tons of information. It has already been given to you. You just got to go out there and do it. But then we have inspiration. So inspiration is basically like a creative spark or motivation that should encourage new ideas. So another thing that's happening for a lot of people is that they're inspired, but they're inspired in the wrong ways. They're inspired by, and y'all know what I'm gonna say, they're inspired by the girls on the internet who have a G-Wagon, who got a mansion within 2 years, the girl who is always on a tropical vacation, so on and so forth. They're inspired by that. They're not actually inspired by the work. They're not actually inspired by the effort. They're not actually inspired by, what had to go into the business in order for them to get those things. So true inspiration should give you a creative spark. It should make you feel like, oh, that's something that I can do in my business to make this better, or this is something that I can implement to make this thing work in a better way than it has worked previously. And it should give you new ideas. It should motivate you to do something differently or to do it in a way that it has not previously been done. So that's inspiration. And the last one is implementation, which I'm sure we all know what implementation is. It's just taking the action. So actually applying the information that you have in your brain, applying the inspiration that you found across the internet or through a book or whatever, wherever you found it. It's just applying it. There are so many people who are stuck in the first part and the last part. They have so much information, not doing anything with the information, or they have the information, they have been completely inspired in a multitude of ways, and now they're just stuck because they don't know how to implement on the information, or they're taking action and it's just action all over the place and action in the wrong order. And we're going to talk about that in a second, okay? So I have this question, and you guys, you can answer in the chat or not. It could be an internal thing to think about, and I'll explain. So the question is, are you at peace or are you in a panic? And I wanted to ask this question because in all transparency, that's another thing that I'm working on. I mean, I'm pretty transparent, but I want to be more transparent on a deeper level. So one thing that I've realized in the 5 years that I've been in business is that I am not always at peace. And there are some times that I am in a panic. I am literally panicking. So for example, this week, this whole first week of the year, I have been in a complete and utter panic because I got all these people on my team and everybody, not in the boutique, but in the boutique academy. I have all these people on my team and everybody has a role and everybody's supposed to be doing something to help us to, start the year strong and do the things and meet our goals and so on and so forth. And it just felt like we started the year all wrong. It was like, where y'all at? What y'all doing? Why is this not working? Why is this not happening? I was in a complete and utter panic all week long. Like literally up until this morning, I had to tell myself, girl, it is 7 days into the year. Calm down. It's fine. I mean, it ain't fine, but it's going to be fine. Like it's fine. We can work our way through this, right? So I wanted to ask, are you at peace or are you panicking? Because typically when you're at peace, you can just do. Like you're okay with just moving, doing, learning, evolving, so on and so forth. But when you're in a panic, usually you sit still or you find yourself like all over the place. You're like your ADHD starts kicking in. That's me. My ADHD starts kicking in. Now, if anybody in here has been diagnosed with ADHD, excuse me, because the last time I said I had ADHD, somebody came for me and they were like, have you been diagnosed with that? I have not, but I have self-diagnosed. I end up being all over the place. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not accomplishing anything. I'm not getting anywhere. And I need to take a moment. So if you feel like you're not accomplishing anything, you're not getting anything done, 9 times out of 10, you're in a panic in your brain. Okay. Now, if you are in fact getting things done, even if it's working, I mean, even if it's not working the way that you want it to work, if you're getting things done, if you're checking things off your list, if you're actually evolving and moving forward in your business, you should feel quite at peace in all actuality. I see a lot of people saying panic. Someone said right now I'm at peace. I had to eliminate some stuff last year, December, that had me in a panic. Yes. So I had to realize like, just because it's working don't mean it's always peaceful. Okay. And not to say I didn't realize it, but like I had to put words to it. a lot of people think, oh, you made X amount of dollars, you had this many orders, you've done X, Y, and Z. That must mean everything is gumdrops and rainbows. No, I would say 50-50 at peace and at a panic, honestly. Like I flip flop in and out of the two emotions regularly. And I don't really know I don't have a solution for that. I just want to self exclaim that that is what I am currently going through and let you know that if you are bouncing in and out of panic and peace, you're not alone. Okay. You're not alone. So another thing that I want to talk about is the people that feel like that they need like a list of steps. And what made me think about this is that pretty much multiple times a week, I won't say every day, multiple times a week, someone asks me, can you record a day in the life video of like your daily routine? Can you record a video, a reel, a carousel, or whatever to tell us what you do every single day in your business? And I made a post on my stories yesterday, and I'm basically just like, I don't have a daily routine. I literally in the story, I'm like, I just ate a cupcake for breakfast. Like I literally had just ate a cupcake for breakfast. I don't have a routine. I wake up and I just go. Okay. I go. But the difference is I have very clear goals and I know what I need to do to meet those goals. Every single day, my goals aren't the same. And also, I run two different businesses. So it's really hard for my days to be the same. It's really hard for me to have a routine that is the same every single day. So I find that a lot of people don't take action or don't get anywhere in their business because they're looking for a specific list of steps that they need to take in their business. There is no specific list of steps. There is a such thing as an order of operations, and we'll get there in a moment, but there is no specific list of steps. It's so important for you to know that your order of operations is going to be dependent on your specific goals, the amount of knowledge that lives in your brain, the amount of time that you're willing or able to put into your business, your target audience, what you sell, so on and so forth. There's so many individual elements of your business that need to be taken into consideration when you create your routine. My routine ain't got nothing to do with your routine. This person's routine ain't got nothing to do with your routine. Now, if we're talking about self-care or things like that, like your health journey, your beauty routine, things like that, sure. Business, no. Because your business, the success or potential success of your business is dependent on you first and foremost setting a goal, and then you secondly understanding the different departments of your business. If there's anybody in this room who does not understand that their business has departments, that is something that is so important for you to know. So it was something that I did not really understand when I started a business. And ironically, I had to really take a step back and think about when I used to work in retail. And I had to ask myself, okay, what was your role? What department did you work in, Jance? Jance worked in the sales department. Jance worked in the store department. That's it. I ain't never worked in nobody's office. I ain't never sat at nobody's desk. I ain't never set up nobody's emails. I ain't never created nobody's content. I ain't never been nobody's social media manager. Never been a model, never been a photographer, never been a nothing other than a salesperson. So I really had to realize, like, dang, this business got a lot of departments that need to be tackled, a lot of jobs, a lot of roles that need to be fulfilled, not necessarily by people, but by me at the time. Like, I gotta do it. There's nobody else to do the job. So once I was able to wrap my brain around that fact, your business got departments, babe. Like, and you are the department head and the employees in the department. That really made me take a step back and again give myself the permission to just learn. Because there was so many things that I had no freaking idea what to do with or what to do about. I didn't know. I was like, girl, what you gonna do? What could I have done other than learn? What could I have done other than gain the information, find some inspiration, implement on the information, and learn from it? That was all. That's all I had. And that's all that you guys have as well. So if there's anybody in the room who hasn't started yet, who's on a break right now, who feels confused, so on and so forth, you need information, more information, and narrow your info. We'll get there in a second, but like you don't need information about e-commerce as a whole, right? You need something that's going to make it digestible for you. marketing as it relates to e-commerce. And marketing ain't just one singular thing. There is influencer marketing, there is affiliate marketing, advertising is an element of marketing, social media marketing, text marketing, email marketing. You need something that's going to break that down. And it doesn't have to be one singular course or one singular program. You could learn email marketing from one person and text marketing from another person and influencer marketing from somebody else. Like, you don't have to go looking for the answers all in one place, but it is important for you to learn the areas and the departments of your business, okay? So some of you in the room may say like, all right, I got information. I have all the inspiration that I need. And also I've been implementing, but it's not working. Why is it not working? Let's talk about it. So we're gonna break down those three elements. Did you ever? No, I've never applied for any grants. That's another one of my goals this year. I need other people's money, not my own. I've never applied for any grants. So let's break down these three areas, right? So information, you've been collecting it, you've been reading books, you've been watching YouTube videos, you've been listening to podcasts, you've been on all the lives, you've gotten the ebooks, you've joined the courses, you've joined the memberships, mine included. You've done the things and you're like, I'm gaining information, but I'm not sure whether I'm missing something. I'm not sure how to digest it. I'm not sure if I'm going in the right direction. I don't know. Let's talk about it. So as you are collecting information, whether it be from one source, from a bunch of sources, whatever the case may be, that information needs to be organized. It needs to be structured in a way that makes it meaningful and easy to understand. So imagine this. Imagine that you've never had a sales job, never had a marketing job, never even worked in a store a day in your life, never actually paid attention to the retail industry, haven't studied the retail industry, and you're learning these things for the very first time, right? The best thing that you can do is ask someone who is where you want to be, someone who specializes in the thing that you want to learn or that you want to do. Ask them to organize all of those things in an order that makes sense. The number one problem, and I'll use, for example, my membership, right? So I always tell people when they're asking, like, should they join my membership or should they join a program? I always say, well, my membership is like Netflix. When you log on to Netflix, it's divided by like, category. It's like, this is the drama section. These are kids movies. These are kids TV shows. These are rom-coms. These are stand-up comedians. Like, it's divided into sections, right? So they gave you a way to like go to, like, they organized the information for you, but you still had to decide where you wanted to start. That's what a membership is like. So I always tell people, well, my membership is like Netflix. There's no clear or obvious start or end. It's really for someone who wants to come in and learn at their own pace and learn what they want to learn in the order that they want to learn it. It's not a course. And it's not a course because there's so many different parts of the business, and it's ever growing and ever expanding and so on and so forth, that I could organize it and say like, okay, well, start here, start there, start here, or whatever. But everybody comes into my membership at different points of business, and everybody's not accomplishing the same things. Not everybody has the same amount of money in their pockets, so on and so forth. So it's organized, but it ain't a course. It's not a curriculum. There is no clear and obvious start and end. It's really a place for you to say, hey, I'm subscribed until I feel like I don't need this anymore. On the flip side, I have courses and programs that have a clear and obvious start and end, and they have a specific promise attached to it. So a membership is like, hey, come learn what you want to learn, watch what you want to watch, so on and so forth, leave and come as you wish. The course is like, hey, this course is about this topic, and this topic only, and you're going to start here. And you can't move on to the next thing until you click complete. Until you say that you have watched this video and, to your best ability that you understand it, you can't move on to the next one. So a lot of people ask me like, well, should I join this or should I join that? And I'm like, well, it really depends on what you're trying to learn. Like, are you trying to learn as you go? Are you trying to learn bits and pieces? Or are you trying to learn it from start to finish? Those are two totally different things. So that's part of the reason why I offer those two options, because I understand that not everybody's at the same level of business. Everybody don't need a full-blown course. Everybody doesn't need a clear start and a clear end. but some people do, and I provide those options. So as I was saying, when it comes to information, it's so important that you're getting that information in an organized way, or like someone just said in the comments, happily ever iffy. I don't know if I said your name right, but hey girl, being a self-starter is key. So if you're going to join a membership, you need to be a self-starter. You need to be somebody who is like very self-aware and who is able to look at their business or at least ask a question to someone. You know, if you're in my membership, like joining our live Q&A calls, joining the master classes and things like that, and actually like speaking up when you have a question. Otherwise, you're going to be in information overload, point blank period. So again, information needs to be organized, it needs to be structured in a way that's meaningful and that makes the most sense. And if it's organized, it will help you make decisions. It's going to help you solve problems, and it's going to help you gain a level of understanding a lot quicker than you would doing it on your own. So people will tell me that, and I'm being, as I said earlier, like transparency, right? I think a lot of coaches will lead you to believe that, you know, their course is the best on earth and that you're going to walk in and you're going to leave and you're going to be ever more clear. That's not the case in every course and class. And I'm a pretty darn smart person. I've been in some courses and classes, and I came in and I felt even more confused when I left than when I came. And if I'm being honest, it was more so because of how I showed up versus how they showed up. I just wasn't prepared for the level of information that was being given to me. Even though it was organized in a way that it needs to be organized, it was sometimes over my head. I was like, okay, wait a minute. I ain't quite there yet. I have not quite accomplished that thing. I really don't know if that's for me right now. And because I felt like it wasn't for me right now, I kind of like fell by the wayside. I'm like, I'm not really enjoying myself, or I really don't know if this is for me, or this, whatever. You know, I came to my own little conclusions, and that's just how it happens, right? So if the information is organized and it applies or aligns with where you are in your business, it should be helping you to make decisions in that business. It should be helping you to solve problems in your business, and it should be helping you to gain a new level of understanding in whatever area of the business that you're currently trying to learn in. Kelly, the monthly payments for my membership is $47 a month. Daphne said, which program should I look into if I'm starting from scratch? It will be e-commerce elementary. All right, cool. So another thing you want to consider when it comes to information. Oh, I'm not going to Miami. I'm sad I'm not, but I'm not. I'm gonna be in Vegas though. So another thing you want to consider is the source that the information is coming from. The source matters, y'all. I'm gonna say it again. The source that you are receiving that information from matters. It matters. It matters. There are lots of very smart people on the internet. There are also a lot of people on the internet who have led people to believe that they are smart. There are a lot of people on the internet who accomplished a thing one time and now have self-proclaimed themselves as experts. I think about the people that go viral one time and they gained 100,000 followers in 7 days, and now they got an ebook and they're going to teach you how they gain 100,000 followers in 7 days. And in their brain, they're now an expert because they accomplished the thing one time. For me, it's like, let me see you do that again in the following 7 days. And then the following 7 days, and then the following 7 days. Like, let me see you do that for 4 weeks straight. And you gain 100,000 followers every single week. Let me see you do that. If you can do that, you got me. You did it one time? Absolutely not. There are so many people who are being misled in business on the internet in 2024, mostly from the pandemic up until this point, y'all. Because people were literally accomplishing things one singular time and proclaiming themselves, labeling themselves as experts and taking money, taking payment for people to learn the thing from them that they did one time. The source that you get the information from matters. It is so important for you to vet the people that you are considering giving any dollar to. I don't care if it's $5, like vet them people. So for me, vetting looks like talking to them. I will be in your DMs asking you all the questions in the world. If I have questions, I'm going to ask. If you go live, I'm going to be on the live. I'm going to ask you questions. And if you are repeatedly ignoring the question, if you are looking at my questions in your DMs and leaving them on red, that tells me everything I need to know. This is not for me. I'm a pass. Now, on the flip side, if you are seeing my questions on your live and the answer to the question is, I teach that in my course, I'm gonna pass because you couldn't answer that question for me right now. Like I ain't asking you for the whole course, I asked you for the answer. And in all actuality, the answer to the question, I can't put a price on anybody's answers. However, the answer to the question doesn't necessarily help me to implement the information. And I think that's the part that coaches don't understand. And that's part of the reason why I be on live and I do webinars that be like 3 hours long, child, because I understand that I can give you the information. I can talk to you about it for 3 hours, but that does not mean that you can implement it. Going back to our list here, I can give you all the information in the world for free. I can inspire you day in, day out, but you still got to go and implement it. I'm not about to do it for you. You still got to understand it to a level that you can go do it yourself tomorrow. And if you can't, guess what? You're going to be back for some more information. It just is what it is. So when coaches and whatever consultants can't answer my question and give me the information, no, I'm so sorry. Like I'm gonna need that answer to come out your mouth before I give you my money. There has never been a question on the internet that I have not answered. If I have the answer, because I'm also very honest. I don't always have the answer. And I don't want to lead you to believe that I have it. If I have the answer, I'm gonna give it to you because information, in my opinion, personally, information is free. Implementation, we talking about something else. And the reason that I believe that implementation typically costs money, why consultants and coaches typically choose to pay, not everybody. But the reason why a lot of coaches and consultants choose to charge for their programs and things like that is because you're paying for the help to implement the thing, not because you're paying for the information. The information you could find, the information in all actuality, y'all, is on the internet for free. It's on YouTube, it's on Google, it's in a book. The information is out there and you can get it for free. You just got to be smart enough to dig through. Just got to be diligent enough to like know what's for you and what's not. But the implementation, that's going to take some time. That's going to take some strategy. It's going to take what word am I looking for? It's going to take intentionality at the end of the day. And a lot of people, a lot of coaches, consultants and things like that, they ain't got no distinguishing, line in their brain between information and implementation. In their brains, they think if I gave you the information, you should be able to go out and do it. Not the same. It's just not, it's not it. Okay. It's not it. Hey, Golden. Hey, girl, hey. Why were so many business? Oh, I don't know what the rest of your question was. It's this desperation amongst people who want a way out of working a job. The fall is inevitable for them. I agree. And don't have a real strategy as to how they got there. They never have a real strategy. It'd be like a list of steps. They'd be like, step 1, use a trending sound every day. Step 2, put bullet points in your caption. Step 3, post 3 times. Girl, bye, please. Please, that is not a strategy. That's a list of steps. Do you help those who sell on Etsy? I do. I do, but let me also say with a caveat, I teach people how to build a brand, like a brand that lives outside of Etsy. So for example, learning how to market properly on social media and lead people to your Etsy store, things like that. So not necessarily focusing on Etsy as a platform, but focusing on branding and marketing your business so that you can lead people to your store. Why were so many businesses booming in the pandemic as opposed to now? That things are back normal. So many closed down, and even the bigger ones are always having sale. Why is that so? So this is my pure opinion. I don't have any factual data to support my opinion. But number one, there was so much money circulating during the pandemic. We had stimulus checks, PPP loans, so on and so forth. People had more money than they had ever had in their lives. They had more disposable income than they ever had in their lives. So some of them were starting businesses with that money, and some of them were spending money with businesses with that money, right? And so once the pandemic was over, because it ain't quite over, but over, number one, some of them people didn't have no money left because they started a business and didn't have no business acumen. They didn't have any true business strategy. They bought a book, took a course, thought they knew everything they needed to know about the business. And now they ain't got no business because they never really started a business. And then the other half, the people who are shopping, they don't have a PPP loan. They don't have a stimulus check anymore. They had to go back to work. Some of them lost their jobs and never found a job. So excuse me, the economy is totally different now than it was then. But in all honesty, I think that the larger portion of the issue is that there were so many people who were not meant to be doing the thing that they started doing during the pandemic. They were not meant to be a coach. They were not meant to be a consultant. They were not meant to be a business owner. And not to say that they weren't capable, but they did something because the opportunity was presented to them. So that is my personal take. Again, I have no factual data whatsoever about the thing. That's just how I feel. Um, Let me see. Love that about you. You always answer my questions. I try. People out there with information all over the place. I'm mad I spent my money. Listen, I've taken some courses and I was like, wow, what is going on in here? This pissed me off so bad. Tell me about it. Are you moving toward helping people with white label manufacturing as opposed to purchasing wholesale? Personally, no, because that's not something that I am an expert in. I only teach on things that I feel very, very clear about. I have been testing manufactured items for myself for pretty much an entire year. And the entire experience has sucked for me, which is why I am looking for somebody to coach me and teach me in that area. So no. However, I do have tons of students who do manufacture their own goods. I just didn't have any role in helping them to manufacture the goods. I just had a role in helping them build the brand, market the brand, set up their emails, set up their text, set up their ads, set up their website, so on and so forth. So in all honesty, I don't focus at all on vendors. Like it's not a conversation starter in my business, in my coaching programs, anything like that, because the products that you choose to sell, I think it's totally up to you. Again, I know nothing about manufacturing, so I wouldn't even know where to tell you to start. I know a lot to a degree about buying wholesale, but I don't teach buying wholesale because you need a business and your business isn't just the product that you sell. How to get foot traffic to your store. Joyce, I actually just shared a brick and mortar video earlier this week on my YouTube channel. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It is literally about that topic. I'm a new follower considering e-commerce. Hey, I have a boutique, but my main business is in the adult toy niche. Would your membership help me grow the business more? Yep. If it's the product, I can help you. Can you talk about creating a brand persona as it relates to a target audience? So brand persona, I personally don't recommend you create a persona. I personally recommend that you choose a real person that exists in the world to base your target audience off of. And the reason that I say that is because most of the time when people write out a persona, it's literally just a made up person. It's literally a bunch of random details that they think aligns with their ideal customer, but they don't actually know if that person exists, or they don't know where to go and look for that person on the internet. So I recommend thinking about a real person who you would envision using your products, wearing your products, so on and so forth. Okay, guys, I'm gonna come back to the questions because I gotta get back to the topic. Okay. So information source. So information source matters. The source of the information that you get, it matters. There are so many people who are going to try to sell you the answers to your questions. Again, information is free if you are looking for someone to help you implement the things that you've learned. If you feel like you're in a state of confusion and you're just stuck in information overload, I would say that is when you should buy a course, get a class, get a coach, so on and so forth. Don't pay for information, pay for implementation, okay? And then, as I was saying earlier, there should be an order of operations when you are executing or implementing in your business, but it's not necessarily a list of specific steps, right? So for example, someone in here mentioned that she sells adult toys, right? The things that she needs to do to market an adult toy business likely looks totally different than selling children's toys, right? The marketing is going to be different. The audience is obviously different. The messaging is going to be different. The content is going to be different. Website going to look different. Everything is going to be different. Sure, yes, they need a branding strategy. They need a marketing strategy. They need a sales strategy. But how they go about implementing that is going to look so freaking different. It's going to look so different. And again, that's why I'm saying, like, you can learn branding, you can learn marketing, but you need someone to help you understand how to implement on those things. What is going to be right for your brand in particular? So my biggest pet peeve about people who sell information, like courses that are like super generalized, like a marketing course, a social media course. They sell them with and lead people to believe that what they teach is going to be applicable to everybody, that it's going to work for everybody. People think that they're buying the answer and they're buying the solution to their problems, when in fact they're buying information. You're buying somebody else's process. You're buying the way that somebody else has done it, and you're not actually paying for someone to teach you how you should do that for your business specifically. So again, there should be an order of operations. It's not going to look different, or it's not going to look the same in every single business. However, I will say that the thing that should be the same in every person's business is that you should focus on branding first and foremost, because branding helps you to create a thorough marketing strategy. So branding first, marketing second, and then lastly, a sales strategy. So you need a brand strategy, you need a marketing strategy so that you can create a sales strategy. If you guys were I know some of you guys were at my conference earlier this year. Sidebar, if y'all missed my conference, y'all better be there next time, okay? But that was the focus of the conference. It was 3 days long. The first day was about branding. The second day was about marketing. The third day was about sales, because so many people start a business thinking that once they have the product, their job is to sell it, right? Yes, but your job is actually to brand it, not to perfection, because perfect doesn't exist, but brand it well, so that you can market it well, so that you can sell it effectively. They go straight into sales, and people are like, what are you doing? Who are you? Why should I care? What's so special about your brand? What are you promising me? And they don't have none of that. So in branding, you need obviously a mission. I'm sure the internet has told you need a mission, you need values, you need a target audience. Yes, but at the end of the day, it is so important that you truly understand what branding means. So just to summarize branding in the most simple terms, branding is basically everything that you do and say that helps a consumer to form an opinion about your business. So for example, I'm gonna go back to the adult toys versus children's toys, because it's a pretty good example. So obviously, if you sell adult toys, you want to appeal to someone who cares about adult toys. Or maybe you're trying to appeal to someone who has never bought an adult toy a day in their life, and you're trying to convince them that they should. You're trying to give them the benefits. You can't really show or give the benefits, but you're trying to get the benefits across around why you might want to try an adult toy. Versus with a children's toy, you want to actually show a child using that toy, right? You want to actually like show a kid opening that toy and playing with that toy and showing how much they love that toy. And you want it to be more of an affectionate type of thing, versus with adult toys, you might want it to be more of a sexual and seductive type of thing. So the feeling that you want people to have about your brand needs to be conveyed through your marketing, which is again why branding comes first, because it impacts your ability to market it well. If you don't have any idea of how you want people to feel when they interact with the audience, there is no way that you can create an effective marketing strategy. And ultimately, there's no way that you can sell that product or sell that brand consistently or effectively. So again, it's not necessarily a list of specific things that you need to be doing in your business. It is a branding, it is a marketing, and it is selling in that order, that order only. And that's going to look different for every single different business based off of what you're selling, who you're selling it to, and ultimately how you want it to be differentiated in the marketing. E-commerce Elementary is live, and it is on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay, let me see before I move on to the next one, inspiration. Let me see what else you guys said in there. When you say a real person, what do you mean? Like a celebrity? No, I mean, it could be a celebrity, but a real person. So I'm a real person, you're a real person. Celebrity is a real person. Your sister, your mom, your cousin is a real person. When you start a business, no matter what you're selling, there should always be someone that you envision using that product. Maybe like I always think about someone who I would want to be a spokesperson for my business. And I would choose that person based off of who they are right now in this real moment, not who I envision them to be or who I think would look good in my content and things like that. I'm thinking about the fact that you already live this lifestyle, you already dress this way. I heard you say you use these products, or that you care about these things, or that you value these things, or that these things are important to you. And I think that you would make an ideal customer. I think that you would make a great spokesperson or a great brand ambassador for my business. So a real person, but based off of what you know to be true about them. Hopefully that helps. What info do I need if my custom design boutique is on life support, such as what class that you offer? So I would say, think about what you mean by life support. I mean, I know what life support is, but like I would think about what you think is lacking. So for example, is it email marketing? You never like create an email marketing strategy. Is it social media? You don't know how to show up on social media regularly. You don't really have a content strategy. Or is it just the whole thing? Like, for example, if there's anybody in the room who's like, I started a business, had no idea what I was doing, did everything just super off the top of my head based off of what I thought was right, really didn't have any clear roadmap moving forward, and I probably should start over from scratch with a clear and definite foundation, then I would say e-commerce elementary would be the best option for you. But if you can clearly pinpoint what areas of your business that you are struggling with, or that you need to fix or implement, then if you have that list, I can tell you if there's a class on it inside my membership, or if I have an individual class about it. So for example, I have like a email marketing class that would, teach you email marketing. Yeah, y'all hit the like button. All right, so first of all, I got to become a real YouTuber in 2024. Hit the like button. um, let's see. It's econ. Oh wait, I read that one. Do you think we should put a lot of money towards visuals, website photos in the beginning? I don't. So, I do recommend that you have a budget, like a clear and obvious budget when you first start, like a total amount of money that you want to spend on the business, not necessarily for this or that, but like total amount of money that you want to spend in your business. And then from there, divide it up across how or where you want to spend in the business. I don't think that you have to spend money, but I will say that, you want to spend somewhere marketing wise. So for example, for example, I launched a new boutique in yesterday made a year that I launched my second boutique. And when I launched the second one, I did it totally different than I did the first one. So the first one, like most other people, I didn't know what I was doing. I just created a little plan that I thought was going to work out, and I just went running, right? But I didn't have like a marketing budget or anything like that. So I didn't run any ads. I didn't do a photo shoot, nothing. But I did buy a backdrop. No, actually, I didn't buy a backdrop. I actually got a subscription to a photo studio that was near me. They had like all the backdrops, all the lights, so on and so forth, because my apartment at the time, I couldn't fit no backdrop or anything like that. And the aesthetics weren't giving what they were supposed to give. So I found the studio, and I gave myself a little marketing budget so that I could use that studio repeatedly. So I want to say my little subscription was maybe like $50 a month, but it was like unlimited use. So I could use it as many times as I wanted in a month's time for that like $50, which is crazy thinking about it. But yeah, that was my budget. I was like $50 a month is what I got for content creation. And I was the model, I was the photographer. I had a little Bluetooth remote, and that was it. um, yes, let me see. So my real person could be Lori Harvey. Yep. And I would literally study Lori Harvey. Like, how does Lori dress? What seems to be her preferences? Look at like the sunglasses that she wears. Does she wear more crop tops? Does she wear more blouses? Does she wear more revealing things? Does she wear more tight things? Does she wear more things that like cover her on the bottom but show a little bit more skin on the top? Like, you want to try to embody Lori through your product efforts as well as your marketing efforts. Haven't seen you on YouTube but live in a while. I know. What do you think is a good amount to spend or put aside when you first start the boutique journey, and where should most of the money go towards? I love this question. So I would say this is one of those questions that doesn't have a definite answer. And if anyone ever gives you a definite answer, please run in the opposite direction, right? So inventory, I'm gonna just use inventory as an example. Inventory costs a bunch of different prices. You could find things for, $1. You could find things that are $100 per item. If you are buying clothing, for example, from a wholesale manufacturer, you're looking at typically a pack of 6. And that pack of 6 is going to typically have 2 smalls, 2 mediums, 2 larges. Again, that price point could be $10 per item in that pack, which is $60 for the pack, or they could be $20 for every item in the pack, which is what, $120? So you really want to think about the fact that no matter how much you choose to spend when you launch, it's not money that's guaranteed to come back to you. Like, I think that is the most important thing to know when you're setting a budget for launching, because it's so unexpected. You don't know, like, for example, there were so many people who launched a business in 2023 having no idea that the economy was going to be what the economy was. And they may have been out of a lot of money because they put a lot of money into the business expecting it to go a specific way, and it didn't. So I always tell people, number one, choose a number that you're okay with losing. And I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds bad, but it is the honest to God truth. And the only reason that I know that that's an appropriate answer is because even still at the point of business that I'm at today, I've made over $1 million, $1.1 million at this point, but I still buy inventory that does not in fact sell. I have plenty of inventory at my office right now collecting dust because my audience refuses to buy it. So anytime I'm setting a budget for myself, essentially it's always with it in mind that it may not sell, and I might have to keep photographing it, and I might have to keep creating content, or I might, like I said, I haven't worked with influencers, but I might need to work with an influencer at some point, so on and so forth. So number one, choose a number, choose an amount that you're okay with losing potentially. Number two, like I was telling, I think it was Shamika, I would say give yourself a marketing budget, but you got to decide where you're going to use that where you're going to use the money for marketing. In my business right now, 10% of my revenue gets allocated to marketing. So for example, if I make $1,000, 100 of those dollars is getting put aside for marketing. So I would say, again, my answers are my answers. I don't know what anybody else does in their business, but I allocate 10% of my total budget to marketing. So I would say at a minimum, choose your number and then allocate at least 10% of it to marketing. Kara said, Jansen, I need help with email marketing. I'm supposed to launch at the end of the month, but I want to do it the right way. Hold on, girl. I'm gonna drop a link in the chat. First of all, I like being on live on YouTube because I can drop links for y'all. Let me drop the link. So I have an email marketing course. I also have an email marketing challenge. So I'm gonna drop the link to both. I'm gonna drop the link to the email marketing challenge. And the reason I'm dropping the link to the challenge is because the challenge is 5 days. It's a self-paced challenge, but the challenge is more so to help you understand how to create an actual email marketing strategy. And then the course is going to help you to actually set up the email marketing. So not just like what emails to send out, but making sure you have all of your automations set up. So like you need a welcome series, you need an abandoned cart series, you need a browse abandonment series, a thank you series, a win back series, emails for different purposes. And a lot of the revenue that you collect as an e-commerce business should be getting collected from automations. And I find that that's where a lot of people are missing out on money because they don't have enough or don't have any automation set up. So I'm gonna drop the link to both of them. Hold on. This is the challenge. And then this is the email marketing course. And all my courses are on sale for $34 because my birthday was on, what was my birthday? Tuesday, Wednesday? It was Tuesday or Wednesday. I turned 34, so I made all the courses $34. So if anybody wants a course, they're $34. The challenges are $19. I've spent thousands just winging it, and I'm not properly implementing what I've learned in the academy. I'm back at it trying to really get it together. I know that's right. Use me. Let me know if you have any questions. I shared a post in the membership today that was about being resourceful because I keep having conversations with people who are telling me like, I bought this course, this little self-paced course, or I hired this person on Fiverr to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, why didn't you just ask in the community? I could have recorded you a quick little video and showed you how to do that. I could have walked you through that in 60 seconds. So use the community, girl, if you have questions. Let's see. I'm trying to draw more traffic to my website so I can get email subscriptions. I struggle with doing live, so I I can connect and be relatable. So I personally don't think about collecting email subscribers on my website. I think about collecting email subscribers outside of my website. So obviously your pop-up is where you are trying to collect email subscribers, but there are so many other ways to collect email subscribers. For example, you can send people to a landing page. So like, I don't think I have one right now, but typically I have a link in my bio that says sign up for emails here. And instead of them being sent to like my homepage and then they got to wait for a pop-up, they get to click this link and go straight to a page, like an actual standard page. And it just has like all the details they need to know about the email list, and they can sign up directly from there. Right now I'm using a platform called ManyChat. I'll put the name of it in the chat. But ManyChat, I'm sure y'all have seen on Instagram, people will say like, comment this word and I'll send you the link, right? So that's what ManyChat does. ManyChat basically lets you set up marketing automations, keyword automations, and you can tell it what you want to happen on the back end. So for example, I use it for when I'm dropping new arrivals. I tell people to comment the word first, and then when they comment, they get a message in their DMs that says, "Hey, I'm so excited that you're excited about our new arrivals. Give us your email address, and we will add you to the list." And so what ends up happening is when they drop their email address, it's connected to my email software, and they automatically get added to my list. So I would say when it comes to email marketing, you want to get creative about how to grow your email list instead of only relying on your pop-up, because the pop-ups work. I'm not saying pop-ups don't work, but pop-ups are just one singular way to go about getting email subscribers. Let's see. Do you have a course on starting a boutique from scratch? Yes, it's called E-commerce Elementary. How do you keep track and give time to your 3 businesses? How did you know you were ready to step out? How did you know you were ready to move on to the next business? Some of us have a lot of business ideas. So I personally am not a fan of moving on until there is consistency in a business. So for example, well, technically speaking, I started Brazen first, and then the Boutique Academy was kind of a thing, but it just didn't have a name. And then I launched my second boutique, Melrose Blue, in January of last year. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I am horrible with my time. At some points, I live by my calendar. My calendar literally is always full, but I will say, even though it's full, it is the most beneficial part of my life because it holds me accountable to being where I'm supposed to be and doing what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to be doing it. So I live by my calendar. It is a sucky way to live. I will not lie. It is sucky to have to live by your calendar, because when you start a business and when you're your own boss and all that, you think that you're becoming more free. But in all actuality, you need something to hold you accountable. So I use my calendar a lot. And as far as moving on to another business, I would say you want to have some consistency in the business that you have already. You got to decide what that looks like though. So like for me, I'm very big on like consistent revenue, and there being like a specific number that I know for a fact that I can hit. And I would actually say not even consistent. I would say predictable. I'm very big on predictable revenue. So for example, a very good example. So right now, I don't have any predictable revenue in my first boutique in Brazen. And the reason for that is because the predictability that I had was based off of a specific curated product group. And my vendor doesn't have those products anymore. So right now I have to work a lot harder in Brazen to make the same amount of money that I'm used to making, because the products that I had become so reliant on are no longer in stock. So yeah, I'm very big on predictability. And if I can't predict it and I can't like know for a fact that I'm going to make that goal with, a specific list of steps, then I know that I actually need to like put some time into it and be even more consistent than I would like to be. Is it possible to have a faceless brand in 2024? I think so. I think it just depends on what the business is at the end of the day. I see a bunch of traffic going to my website. However, no one is really checking out. Please advise. So I would have to actually like know something about your business. Every website is different. I always say think about yourself as a consumer. So as a consumer, what would make you go to a website and not actually make a purchase or not actually adding things to your cart? So one thing that I always tell people is that if people are in fact adding things to their cart, they want to buy something from you. As a consumer, you never add anything to your cart that you're not interested in buying, ever. Like, I've never added something to my cart that I was like, this ugly. I'm not doing that. If I'm like, dang, this cute, and it's only $27, okay, I'm gonna add this to my cart. Now, I might not buy it, but I add it to my cart because I have purchase intent. I'm interested. So as a consumer, again, I would say just think about yourself as a consumer, not as the business. What would make you not finish that transaction? So for example, I might have got to the checkout and saw the shipping was too high. Or I got to checkout and I was hoping they had a firm. They don't have a firm. Or I was hoping they had Afterpay. They don't have Afterpay. I was hoping they had PayPal. They don't have PayPal. I was looking for the return policy. It says all sales are final. No exchanges, no refunds, no store credits. What else might make me not check out? So the button don't work. I've been on so many websites where the checkout button didn't work. Or for another example, I've been on people's websites where they often don't know, but like they have, you know how there's like an address line 1 and an address line 2, and line 2 is usually for like if there's an apartment number or a suite number, things like that. So they're asking me to put in this apartment or suite number, and I don't have one because I live in a house. So you're asking me for information that I don't have to provide. So there are so many reasons why people don't check out. Now, people not actually adding something to their cart is a total separate conversation. So it could be the organization of the website. It could be that the product details, there aren't enough details. It could be that they were hoping that you had plus size, you don't have plus size. Maybe they were hoping you had pink and you only got green and yellow. It could be that your website's loading too slow. It could be a bunch of things. So literally, the smartest thing that any of us can do is map out a list of reasons why we don't check out on websites or what makes us leave. And sometimes it's just as simple as they got distracted. Literally, sometimes that's as simple as it can be. So I always tell people, like, you want to have an idea of what the potential reasons were that someone didn't do the thing you want them to do. But what's most important is that you have a plan to get back in front of them. I think I saw somebody ask if I run ads all year. I can't remember. Oh, I see it, Miss Davis. Yes, I run ads all year. So I run ads all year mostly so that I can stay in front of my audience, especially people who've been to my website before. Especially for people who've interacted with me on social media. So those are called retargeting ads. And you literally can go into the ads manager, create what's called a custom audience, and say, I want this custom audience to consist of people who visited this specific page, or who went to this, who added to cart, who initiated the checkout but didn't finish the purchase, so on and so forth. So I run ads to a bunch of different groups of people all throughout the year so that I can stay in front of them. I run ads to like reach a new audience as well, but if I was going to turn off any ads, it would not be the ones that are retargeting people. So as I was saying, it's so important to like have a plan for what you're going to do if they don't, versus you only thinking about them doing the thing that you want them to do. There is a class on ManyChat in my monthly membership. Oh yeah, hold on. I'll post the link to E-commerce Elementary. Hold on. And then I'm gonna go back to my list, and then I'll come back to the questions. Woo, I am out of breath. Jesus. So while I'm getting this link, I'll tell you guys a little bit about the E-commerce Elementary. So I have two programs. One, E-commerce Elementary, the other is the Boutique Accelerator. So E-commerce Elementary is for people who are launching, relaunching, need to rebrand, didn't start off the right way, need some clarity, tired of trying to piece it together, don't know what the heck they're doing, don't really understand e-commerce, have no idea what digital marketing is, aren't really like utilizing the marketing tools effectively. It is a beginner's class. Now, that's not to say that we're about to talk about like how to get your business license and things like that. That's information you can find for free on the internet. This program is all about teaching you how to build an actual e-commerce business that makes money. The other program is the Boutique Accelerator. So it is for people who are in fact making money. They're making money consistently, but they too are like, I really don't know how I'm making this money. I don't really know why I'm making this money. I don't really have a process. I'm not too sure if I'm making a profit, or maybe they're making a little bit of profit and they're like, I want to go from like a $5,000 month to a $10,000 month, things like that. So the Boutique Accelerator is more so for people who have existing data that we can use to create very specific and advanced marketing strategies to 3x, 4x, 5x, so on and so forth, your revenue. I just put the link to e-commerce elementary in the chat for you guys. Um, been watching you since you were at the store that closed down. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. I have absolutely no branding or voice for my business. I would recommend e-commerce elementary. Is your old inventory that you can't get rid of still on your website? Yes, ma'am. One thing I do not do is pack old inventory away. I'm actually selling mystery boxes right now, so that is where I plan to get rid of some of that inventory. What do you think about refunds and no return policies? I think they are bad for business, personally speaking. So I would say when you have a brick and mortar business, and I'll use myself as an example. So when I launched, my return policy was no refunds, no returns, no exchanges. Like once you buy it, it's yours, sis. We ain't got nothing to do with that, right? But I realized it was hindering me from making money. And the reason that was hindering me was because there was no protection there for the consumer. If in all honesty, like if you think about it as a consumer, again, the one of the most helpful things that you could do as a business owner is put yourself back in the customer's shoes. So thinking about it, it's like, man, I'm a brand new business. I barely got any social media presence. We really ain't doing much of nothing just yet. They have no idea who I am. They don't know that I am a trustworthy individual. So they could love my products, love them ever so much, but the mere fact that they are not familiar with my brand is a line of I don't know what word I'm looking for. It just basically is going to be a hindrance. Let's say that. So obviously there were people who were purchasing, but there were way more people, and it's still that way, but there were way too many people who were coming, adding things to their cart and not purchasing. So when I weighed the options of why someone might not be purchasing, there were two things that came to mind. So number one, people asked me what was my return policy all the time. And number two, people asked me why I didn't have PayPal. They wanted to know when I was going to add PayPal. So I told myself, okay, well, literally, I was like, well, I'm not adding no returns first and foremost because I need to protect myself. I ain't got no money as it is. I need to keep this money. I was like, I'll add PayPal though. And I really didn't want to add PayPal because I had heard so many horror stories about PayPal holding people's money and siding with the customer if there was a dispute and so on and so forth. And in all actuality, I realized that some people want PayPal because of the ease of use. They ain't got to put their credit card in and stuff like that. Some people want PayPal because PayPal gonna side with the customer almost every single time. So if they file a dispute, they like, I know I'm protected, right? So I had to take a gamble. Which one am I gonna give them? A return policy or PayPal? I gave them PayPal. I didn't get very many return requests at all. Like literally, I let them know. I'm sorry, I gave them PayPal. That worked out a little well, but I was still missing out on a lot of orders. So eventually, I added a return policy, and I gave them 7 days, 14 days to submit a return request, and we would give them a store credit in the form of a gift card. I didn't get very many store credit requests. I didn't get very many return requests or whatever. So long story short, I believe that everybody should have a return policy of some sort. Because if your product is as great as you say that it is, 9 out of 10 customers are not going to return it. Like honestly, truly, in the 5 years that I've been in business, I have not had that many returns. Like the returns have not necessarily had that much of an impact in my business at all. So it's more of a protection measure for the customer. Okay, let me go back to this list, right? So we went through information. Let's talk about inspiration. So a lot of people being inspired in a bunch of different ways by a bunch of different people, so on and so forth. So inspiration should alter and innovate your thinking and drive you to actually achieve your goals. So you should be able to look at something and see how it played out for somebody else. And it should inspire you enough to take action. It should make you feel like it is possible for you to meet your goals. As I stated earlier, the problem is so many people are inspired by the G-Wagon, the mansion, the private jet, the yacht, the tropical vacation, so on and so forth. And they're like, man, I can't wait till that is for me. You need to be looking at the work that they said that they did. Now, granted, some people ain't talking about the work that they did. They're just talking about what they got as a result of the work. I would literally be like, hey, so I just wanted to know that I am so inspired by your story. I was wondering if you could give me some tips on what I could do better in my business. Can you give me some insight around, what was one major thing that you had to do or change in your business to get these types of results. That is what you want to be inspired by, not their journey, not their lifestyle, not their car, not their house, not their vacations. You need to be inspired by the work, right? So whatever it is that you're inspired by, it should lead you to want to work harder. It should lead you to want to achieve your goals even more so than you felt, like you wanted to achieve your goals beforehand. It should serve as fuel for you to move. So, for example, I mentioned like my two programs. One is called E-commerce Elementary. The other is called the Boutique Accelerator. So the Boutique Accelerator is meant to accelerate your business. So accelerating means that it's already going, right? It's already going. So you need fuel to move, correct? I created E-commerce Elementary for people who need fuel because it ain't going. It's literally just it's dying. It's not moving. It's not doing. It's not going anywhere. They need fuel. So whatever it is that you're inspired by should be fueling your effort. It should be fueling your work ethic, right? It should help to push you in a way that you ain't been pushed before. It should push you to take some action in your business, and ultimately should help you to think outside of the box. It should help you to think beyond the things that you were able to come to the conclusion on your own. It should help you to take risks. It should help you to just simply put, be willing to do something more than what you've done already. So if you are ever inspired by or motivated by someone and you don't feel like, if you don't, I think about all the empowerment brunches. Y'all know I love a good empowerment brunch. I love a good chicken and waffle situation. If I'm at one of them, I don't expect to leave, personally speaking. Y'all might have been to some that's different. I leave feeling very like, wow, that was amazing. I made great connections here. I love girl power. This is so beautiful. Yay. Very rarely do I walk away feeling like, dang, I got to go harder. I'm about to go do this, this, and this. Very rarely do I walk away with a list of things that I could do or change in my business. And that's because it's the wrong type of inspiration. It ain't the inspiration that we actually in fact need. So it's so important for you to be inspired by the aligned parts of a business. So like the marketing in the business, the branding in the business, the processes that are being implemented in the business, not the person who gets to live the life that she's always dreamed of living. She gets to live the life that she's always dreamed of living because of the work that she was willing to put in. That's the part that you need to figure out. That's the part that you need to be inspired by. Okay. Let's finish this off. So, I got notes, child. So implementation. So implementation is all about action, obviously. And this is where basically the concepts are turned into tangible results. So you've got the information, you've got the inspiration. Now you got to go and implement. Effective implementation involves organizing your resources. So for example, there are people, I saw somebody say that she had been in the membership and she's like, I haven't utilized it to the best of my ability, right? As I mentioned, there's so much information in the membership, and it's very easy for you to be taking in information that's not aligned with the point of business that you're at right now. And that doesn't mean that it's not useful information. It doesn't mean that it's not, good information that's going to come in handy at some point, but it's just not the information that you need right now. And if you don't ever speak up and say, hey, this is what's going on in my business, or this is what I'm struggling with, it's going to be very hard for you to get on the path that you need to be put on, or for you to learn the thing that you actually need to be learning in that moment. So in order for you to effectively implement something into your business, all of the information you're taking in needs to be organized or provided to you in an organized manner so that you can implement it in an organized manner. Implementation also requires you to manage your time well. So Easy Clothing asked me about my time earlier, how I manage it. I said I use my calendar. That's the only, like, I understand about myself and about my life and my business right now that the only way that I can effectively use my time and effectively implement all of the things that need to be implemented is if I am properly managing my time. A wake up alarm don't work for me. In all actuality, no, like keeping it 100. I wake up super late every single day. That's another one of my personal goals this year. I want to wake up earlier. I wake up very late. I get out of my bed very late. I know there are people on the internet, like they wake up at 5 a.m. and they go work out. That is not my ministry. Personally speaking, Mondays are the only days that I wake up early because I have a meeting at 9 a.m. every Monday. Outside of that, no. But I am always working in alignment with what's on my calendar. I have to put it on my calendar. I tell my friends, if you don't send me a calendar invite, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to be there. I'm just not. That's just the level of life and business that I'm at right now. If you don't send it to me in a calendar invite, not going to be there probably. And it's no love lost. I just didn't know that was where I needed to be. So again, in order for you to effectively implement all these things that you're learning, you got to manage your time well. And I hate when people tell me that they don't have any time, because you do. 24 hours in a day. You work 8 to 10 of them in a day. Some people say they work 12-hour shifts. Okay, you work 12-hour shifts. Then they tell me, well, I commute back and forth. An hour there and an hour back. Okay, well, now we're up to 14 hours. Still, there are 10 hours. And yes, I know you got to sleep. I know you got to eat. I know you got to rest, so on and so forth. But in all honesty, if you want it bad enough, you're going to work for it. And I don't have any other way to put it. If you want it bad enough, you're going to stay up the extra couple hours. And it literally could be just 30 minutes of your day, an hour of your day. It could be your weekend, whatever. I saw a post that said something like, there's 52 weeks in a year, and you get the weekend off in each one of those weeks. Use them, right? Use weekends. So I think it is so important to manage your time. And ultimately, you got to oversee the work that you're doing. So actually do the things, but monitor what's happening. It's not a case of like being stuck on the fact that it's not moving as fast as you want it to, or that you're not accomplishing what you want to accomplish. It is always going to be a learning opportunity. It's always going to be you learning what you need to do, or what you need to do better, or what you need to do more of, versus it being like, oh, this is just going to work. It's not just going to work. In all honesty, it's not going to work. Or it's not just going to work. So information is the foundation of your decision making at the end of the day. If you are lacking in information, you cannot make a decision. And also, if you're overloaded in information, you can't make a decision, right? Inspiration should drive you to be more creative, and it should drive you to innovate and actually like do something with the information, or feel more driven to do something with the information, right? And then lastly, implementation should turn your ideas into outcomes. So it might not be the outcome that you want, but it's going to be an outcome. And it should be something that you learn from, and ultimately that should help you to do better moving forward. I was talking to someone the other day. I almost missed this whole little desk. I was talking to someone the other day about launch strategy. So something that I learned probably in like year two of my business is how important having a launch strategy is. Up until year 2, my idea of launching was that launching only happens one time. When you start the business, you launched it, right? But in all actuality, most people never launched. They just started. Raise your hand in the chat if you just started. And let me give a definition just in case you're confused. So having a launch strategy means, or having a proper launch means that you had a strategy, right? And it also means you had a goal, and not just a revenue goal, but you had like marketing goals. You had like a goal to have a certain number of email subscribers on your list so that a certain percentage of your sales could come from email marketing. You had a goal to have a certain number of followers, or a certain number of text people on your text list, so that a certain percentage of your revenue could come from your text list. People get so consumed with a launch date. They got a countdown, and they got some content, and they got a social media page, and that's the launch. I was like, man, that was not a launch. I started this business. I started it on November 8th of 2018. That's when it started. It did not, in fact, launch. A launch never occurred. So once I realized that, I was like, man, I bet so many other people did the exact same thing, which let me know that at some point, once I figured out what launching actually entailed, that I was going to have to learn how to teach it, right? So people often ask me, like, or back in the day, 2020, 2021, people used to ask me why I didn't have a course for people who were launching, like a program, shall I say, for people who were launching. And it was because I didn't, in fact, launch. I couldn't teach somebody how to launch if I had not, in fact, ever launched myself. So as I was saying, launching is something that does not just happen once. You may launch a business, but as you continue in business, you launch collections, you launch new products, so on and so forth. And all of it needs a process. So when you're thinking about launching, there are 3 phases of it, and it kind of goes in conjunction a little bit with what we're talking about today. So you need a pre-launch, which is you setting marketing goals that are going to support your ability to meet your revenue goals when you actually do in fact launch. Your actual launch, this is the period of time where you're actually actively selling that product with the hopes of making the money. And then your post-launch, which is when you're going to be actually studying the efforts that you put in to create a future launch plan. So launching doesn't stop. Every time you get new arrivals or get ready to drop new arrivals, that's supposed to be a launch. There's supposed to be a process attached to that. Someone asked earlier about getting email subscribers. I was like, man, if I incorporated having marketing goals into my pre-launch, I should be gaining email subscribers the entirety of that pre-launch phase. So nowadays, I don't just launch inventory. I don't get inventory on Wednesday, take the pictures on Wednesday, launch the inventory at 6 p.m. on Wednesday or 9 a.m. on Thursday. I'm like, I'm gonna launch this on next Monday or next Thursday. I don't know. Choose a day. The point is that I give myself time to actually build a list of people who are in fact interested in that launch so that I can have a better gauge of what's about to happen when I launch this. There have been so many people that I've talked to or people that I've coached who are like, I launch weekly or I launch however often, and they don't be working. Like I keep dropping new arrivals because they say they want new arrivals, and I keep showing them new arrivals and they keep saying they like them, but ain't nobody buying them. And it's not because they don't want them. It's because you didn't have an actual launch process. You just asked them if they wanted something and made an assumption that they were going to buy it. Buyers are people who take action before the buy can happen. So for example, you're saying, hey, this is going to launch on January 14th. Click this link to sign up for our email list and be the first to know. Or click this link to sign up for our text list to be the first to know. Or comment this word to get added to our list, or whatever the case may be. I have learned in business, not to say that this is the case for everybody, but in my business, I can make so much more money when I drop my new arrivals if I focus on gaining a list of people interested in those new arrivals first. I have amazing drop days and the days leading up behind it because I focus on growing a list of people who are interested in their launch beforehand. So it's the same when you launch the business. It's the same when you launch new collections. The same when you launch new products. You need a process. And that's what we talk about in e-commerce elementary. Make sure you have a marketing process in place, pre-launch, launch, post-launch, that is repeatable, but also that you understand how to study the data so that you can make that process better and refine it over time. Whew, okay, before I keep going, let me go back up to some of the questions. Is the membership just for boutiques? It is not. It's for e-commerce businesses in general. Where do we find the $34 courses? I will put the link in the chat again. E-commerce elementary, there is a self-paced option if you are a self-paced learner, but we're launching it live. Classes start on January 23rd, 24th, one of those dates. So it's the course and weekly live coaching with me and my good friend and consultant, Brianka. She is a marketing genius, and I don't call too many people a genius. So, but yeah, it's live. Did I spell this right? Teachable. Teachable.com. Where's your water? It's right here. I probably should drink some. Is a membership? Oh, I read that one. With those classes help for a business that deals with custom handcrafted pieces? Yes. So here's the thing. If you sell a physical product in general, physical product, every business needs branding, every business needs marketing, every business needs a sales strategy. It is not a case of me saying, hey, if you sell clothes, this is exactly what you need to do. This is me saying, if you sell something to people and you want people to care, you want people to like it, you want people to understand it, you want people to do the things you want them to do, you need a strategy. And here's how to build that strategy, no matter what you sell. So yes. For example, I'm planning to launch a business, but the items are embroidered and slightly custom, no return policy. That makes sense. So if they're custom, no, I would say that makes sense. Closed my brick and mortar last year, focused on e-commerce now. I'm enrolling in the e-commerce elementary course, self-paced. You inspire me. Oh, thank you. I hope you're enjoying the course. Books that you 100% recommend. In all honesty, I have none. I am not a reader personally. So I am the type of learner where I know exactly what I want to learn, and I don't want to learn your whole life and your whole process. So I am very big on Googling and YouTubing. That's my personal learning style. I could not even begin to tell you a list of books that I have read because there are so few. I'm not the book reader. And I'm not the person that's going to tell people, you should read more. Now, if that's your thing, yes. If you feel like you need to like learn a thing from start to finish, yes. But if you're one of those people that's like, I know exactly what I want to learn, I would say go looking for that thing and that thing only, and don't get distracted by the middle, the beginning and the end of somebody else's story. I don't like getting distracted with the beginning and end of somebody else's story. Teach me this one part and this one part only. That's why I don't do a lot of like I've been in some group coaching programs. I was just talking to one of my friends about this. Like I was telling her, I feel like this year is a group coaching program for me, like a year for me. I bounce in and out of needing like other people's context. So last year was like, I don't want nobody else's context. Like I don't want to be part of your story. I don't want to be a part of your story. I don't want to get confused with what's going on in your business and what's going on in your business. I don't want to do that. This year, I'm like, I need some perspective. I need some inspiration. I need some more information. And I don't want it to come from one singular source. So I don't got no books. I wish I could tell you otherwise. When people are interested in a new collection, they sign up with their email. What email series do they get added to? So I have a welcome series that's specifically for people who are interested in my new arrivals. And it's basically the same as my general welcome series. The first email in it is just different. How many people should you have on a wait list before launching? No specific number. So you want to choose a revenue goal. So you want to work backwards. Choose a revenue goal, then set marketing goals, and then choose like your desired average order value, so on and so forth. So for example, I always use the fact that 2 to 3% of your total website traffic is going to potentially convert into a sale. And that's the industry standard. 2 to 3% on average of your total website traffic is going to become a purchase. So 100% of your email list is not going to go to your website when you launch. It's not going to happen. And that's human nature. We got thousands of emails coming to our inbox in a month's time. So with that in mind, you want to consider the fact that only a certain percentage of your email list is going to, in fact, make a purchase. There is a, hold on, I'm going to put the link in the chat. There is a report that Klaviyo is the platform I use for email marketing. There's a report that Klaviyo puts out every single quarter. It's a benchmark report. And basically it shows you the industry-wide standards around how emails are performing in the industry. Let me put this in the chat. Boom. So I'm gonna read a couple of them. So for example, I'm in the apparel and accessories category. So this report basically, oh, I think I can share my screen with y'all. Hold on. I forgot I'm like live streaming from Zoom. I did this on purpose so that I could share my screen. So funny. There we go. So this is the benchmark report, and this is specifically for apparel and accessories. So this is telling me what percentage maybe will do this specific thing. So it's saying that out of the email campaigns that I send as an apparel brand, about 44.5% of them are going to actually open it, right? Just open it, not even click, open it. 1.66% of them are actually going to click it. Estimates, averages, not saying it's absolutely. 1.66% are likely going to click that link. Now, website-wise, only 2 to 3% of them are actually going to make a purchase. I always say that e-commerce and having a boutique and stuff like that, it is more math than it is anything else. I be working numbers all freaking day long. So for example, with this information, I gotta figure out, okay, well, if only 44% of them are going to open, I'm gonna just choose a random number for the sake of this example. Let's say that you were able to get 500 people on your email list before you launch. 500 people. let's say what's 44%? So 44.5% is 222.5. So we're gonna say 223. So we're gonna say that about 223 out of 500 people are actually going to open that email. Now, 1.66% of them are likely going to click. So we're going to do 1.66% of 223 is 3.7, so 4-ish. About 4 people are going to actually click it, but per the industry standard, only 2 to 3% of them are going to purchase. 2% of 4 ain't even one. Not enough people. So again, just averages, not set in stone, not 100% going to absolutely, without a doubt, be the case. But literally, it's just a matter of choosing a number, working the math, and saying, okay, well, no, I need to shoot a little higher, or I need to be a little bigger. Or my average order value needs to be higher, so on and so forth. Hope that helps. Woo. How long do you have access to the courses? You have lifetime access. E-commerce elementary is every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Definitely going to revisit with no refunds policy for my website. I'm glad you put into perspective. Yes, I'm glad to help. Said the link isn't working. Hold on, I'll put the link in there again. 2 seconds. Hold on. And then I'm gonna go back to my little notes because we almost done. I told my husband that I was gonna cook, and now I'm being a bad wife. All right, that's the courses. Some sign up to the email list and then you send a campaign, they unsubscribe. Why is that? I have no idea. I'm not inside of anyone's head. I don't know. I do not know. I wish I did. It happens to me as well. I am not exempt. Okay, let's keep going so I can go cook the things, honey. So next is basically why you get stuck at each of these levels. So some people get stuck at information overload. Some people get stuck at inspiration. Some people get stuck at implementation. So information, some people get stuck in information overload. So to get over that, you want to prioritize your sources, making sure that you are collecting information from the proper sources versus from everybody and their mama. I won't pinpoint nobody in this world, child. There are just way too many for me to pinpoint. All I will say is find somebody who is doing exactly what you want to do. Find somebody who is accomplishing exactly what you want to accomplish and follow that person. Like follow that person, like y'all are doing, show up for their lives, ask questions, gauge for your own understanding whether or not that person is credible enough to help guide you in the direction that you want to go. There are so many people in the world that are smart. I always tell people, like, I'm never saying that somebody ain't smart. There's so many smart people in this world that you could be learning from, but there is a such thing as learning from the wrong person, learning the wrong things from the wrong person. So when I am thinking about trying to learn something new, I try to be as clear as possible about what it is that I want to learn so that I can go learn that thing from the right person who can give me the information that I need at the end of the day. I would say another thing you want to do is set some goals. So for example, I really want to learn influencer marketing this year. Like that's a goal for me. I really want to learn. I want to master. I want to say learn. I want to master influencer marketing in my business. And so with that in mind, I got to go find somebody to help me create a strategy for this. Help, like not even create the strategy, just help me understand like my gaps in my understanding. Let's say that. Because I know what it is. I know what I can use it for or the ways that I can use it, but help me identify the gaps in my understanding. So clarify what your goals are and filter out any unaligned information. So if it doesn't align with what you want to learn, don't learn it. Literally, like I know it sounds easier said than done, but if it does not align with what you want to learn, don't learn it. Literally shut it off. Don't force yourself to learn something that does not align with where you are in your business right now and what you're trying to accomplish right now. That's the easiest way to lead yourself into information overload. And then lastly, create a system. So you want to organize the information that you collected collecting in a way that makes sense to you. So for example, let's say you've been taking a bunch of marketing classes, like put all the marketing notes in one specific place, like create a little table, a spreadsheet or something. Make it in a way that makes it easy for you to understand. So for example, I don't take a lot of courses, but when I do, I bookmark them on my computer and I divide them in the bookmarks by what type of class or resource it is. So if it's a marketing resource, if it's a ads resource, so on and so forth, I try to divide them up in a way that makes sense so that I'm not going into course B thinking that I'm about to learn the things in course A. So that's one thing that I would recommend too. As it relates to inspiration, getting it from the wrong source or getting inspiration in the wrong way, I would say focus on who and what you don't know. And I know that might sound backwards, but I try really hard to not be inspired by people that I know. And again, I know that might sound weird, but the reason that I say that is because it's so limiting to only be inspired by people that you know or businesses that you're already aware of. I literally every single day go in search of something or someone that I'm not already aware of. So for example, yesterday I was trying to basically reset my algorithm on my Instagram because I wanted my explore page to show me people and brands that I had no idea existed. So I went searching specific keywords. At the top of your Instagram or at the top of any post, there's 3 dots you can click and you can tell Instagram that you're not interested in content like that or content from that brand or that page. So I clicked that not interested button so many times just yesterday because I was like, I really need Instagram to understand who I am and what I'm interested in. So I told it what I wasn't interested in. And the more that I clicked that button, the more my feed became infused with people and brands that I do, in fact, want to consume content from. So I would say it's so important to be inspired by people and brands that you're not aware of. I also go to Pinterest a lot just to explore different like content perspectives and things like that. I love Pinterest. Pinterest is a great place to gain some inspiration. I would say another big important part of being inspired is remembering your own core values. Everybody should have core values. Core values are basically just the things that are important to you. Don't let anybody else's values or what is important to them overshadow what is important to you. So if you are following somebody, for example, and you're trying to learn from this person, but you keep getting distracted with the fact that they curse all day, every day, all their lives are filled with curse words, or you keep getting distracted with the fact that like one post is about business, but the next post is about her being in the club, and the next post is her twerking in the club, and then maybe there's another business post, and you're trying to like weed through the information amongst the lifestyle that she's living, and it's like, I can't focus over here. Just leave it. Find someone who aligns with your core values. Find someone who don't align yourself with their lifestyle, basically. Try not to align yourself with someone's lifestyle, align yourself with someone's values and how they present themselves, and ultimately the fact that they're doing the thing that you want to do. And then the last thing that I would say is find a mentorship, a membership, a subscription, more specifically somewhere where you can be surrounded by people who share your values, who are doing the thing that you want to do, who are accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish, who are working towards the things that you're working toward. It is so much easier to keep going when you're surrounded by people who are figuring it out too, than it is to be around a bunch of people who are doing something totally opposite. This summer I had my first conference. I was scared to death to have my first conference. Scared to death, let me tell you. I was on stage for 3 days straight. I had about 100 women come to the conference. And I told my team, I literally, the day of the conference, I kept telling my team, I am so happy this day is here because I'm never doing it again. I kept telling them I was never doing it again, but I did it and I loved it so much. And the part that I loved so much was getting to see all of these women connecting with one another. Some of these women were women who have been in my courses or who've been in my membership for years, and that was their first time meeting each other in real life. Some of them didn't know each other, but they, sat next to that person for the entire 3 days, and they are now friends. A lot of them have group chats now, and they meet on Zoom, and they just continuously connect with one another. And I think that is such an amazing thing to have. in business. So by me creating this space for them to all be together, they were able to have a peer group of people who understand and ultimately that they can call on when and if they need support, need help, need questions answered, so on and so forth. I just love that. So find a group of people to surround yourself by. I have friends. I have women who were in my courses who are now my really good friends. We just kept talking after the courses, and now we spend tons of time talking. We travel together. We do all the things together, and that's simply put because they now operate a business in the way that I operate a business and at the level that I operate a business, and we are peers now. We get each other. We talk on the same level. So everybody needs that. If you are operating a business right now in secret and silence, you never talk to anybody else about it, and or you're talking to people about it who don't understand. Who I feel bad for you. I have no other way to put it. I feel so terribly bad for you because, oh my God, I cannot imagine being consumed with confusion and frustration and so on and so forth and having no one to talk to about it. So find yourself a membership, a subscription, a group, a focus group, or something where you can be in the room with other people. Come to my conference, obviously. Do you offer website audits? Only in my membership. Um, uh, is there a 6 p ecom the weekly calls for e-commerce elementary are at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Is there a sales in city this year? It is. It's in Atlanta. Here's the link for it. Hold on. That's the link for sales in the city. Oh, it's not clickable. Hold on. Why is it not clickable? I don't know why it's not clickable, but I put it in the chat. Does one of the classes teach analytics? I get so confused when people talk about that. I actually have like a 40-minute long video on my YouTube channel about analytics. Not like a course, but walking you through the things that I think about when I'm studying my analytics. I would recommend watching that. Literally just type my name into the YouTube search bar and analytics, Jan Chartier analytics, and it'll pop up. The only other place where there's an analytics class is in my membership. And it does more in detail walk through the analytics in business. Should you have a PO box for returns to protect your personal address? You can. I do now. I didn't always. Because I couldn't afford one when I first started. But yeah, I would say for the most part, you would want to have a PO box for sure. You're welcome. All right, let's finish this last one. So the last one is, did we go through all of inspiration? Yeah. Last one is implementation. So let's round this thing off. So as it pertains to implementation, how to actually like implement on all this information that you do in fact have in your brain right now and you're not actually like utilizing. Break it down, okay? So literally, I would recommend writing a list of all of the things that you know right now. I made a reel maybe a couple months ago, and it was about people. So a lot of times people come to my DMs and they say they're trying to figure out whether or not they should take a course, whether or not they should buy a class, join my membership, so on and so forth. And they say, I know that I should be doing this, 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 and this. Or they're like, I know that this is this and this is that, right? Which class should I take? And I'm like, so here's the thing. You know that thing. Do you understand that thing? That's the question. Because I can't tell you whether or not you need that course. Now, if you tell me, well, I understand X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C, so on and so forth, that helps me to determine whether or not you do in fact need this course or not. But if you just say, well, I already know da 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 da, in all actuality, you're coming off as kind of like a know-it-all. And that's exactly what it is, a know-it-all. You know it all, but do you understand it all? So I recommend that everybody write a list of all the things that you know. All the things you know, all the things that somebody has said to you on the internet, that you read in a book, that you read in an ebook, so on and so forth. All those things that you know. And then go back through that list and put a little check mark or a note or whatever next to it and say, do I understand it? Have I implemented it? And if I haven't implemented it, why haven't I implemented it? Is it because I don't understand? Is it because I'm missing something? Is it because I don't have the money? So on. Is it because I think I need money and I'm not sure if I need money? you need to be able to clarify why you haven't implemented on all these things that you know. If you know it, why aren't you using it? If you know it, why aren't you doing it? You got to be able to identify that for yourself. So before you go buy a class, a course, hire a coach, so on and so forth, ask yourself, what do I know? Do I understand it? If I understand it or believe that I understand it, why haven't I done it yet? That's it. That's all. So take whatever it is and break it down as much as humanly possible. I would say anything that seems large in your head or that seems like a big task, it can be broken down. I guarantee you it can be broken down. I'll give you an example. People always tell me, well, all I need to do is my website, so I can launch, but I don't know where to start, or it just seems like so much. And I'm like, it's a lot of steps, but there are steps that are digestible. There are steps that can be done one at a time, that should be done one at a time, right? So it's just a matter of writing out all the things that need to be done on the website and working your way through them one at a time. Don't get stuck on the big thing. Break the big thing down into little things and create a step-by-step process or plan for yourself. Second thing, focus on the process, not the results. Focus on the process, not the result. There are so many people who are not doing something because they're scared of the result. Don't focus on the result. Focus on the process. Focus on the fact that you have to go through the process to actually, in fact, learn that thing. If you write your list out and you say, okay, these are the things that I know that I should be doing. These are the reasons why I haven't done it. I've broken it down and clarified the steps that I need to take to complete it. Now you know all that you need to, know to do it. All that's left is to, in fact, do it. But if you don't do it because you're scared of the result, you're never going to get a result. So don't focus on the result, focus on the process. Focus on the fact that you got to actually do it to get a result. And no matter if the result is good or bad, you have to learn from the result to make it better. One thing that I've been telling a lot of people, and I think hopefully it helps somebody in this room, whatever is the next thing that you are about to do should not be the best thing that you've ever done, right? So what I mean by that is like, for example, I had a $10,000 the most amount of money that I've made in my online boutique was like $18,000 or something like that. And that was my best day. But I don't want that to be my best day. I want a better day. I want a $20,000, I want $25,000, I want $100,000, so on and so forth. Like I want it to get better. So I don't consume myself with the result of the thing. I consume myself with the process of the thing. So I'm like, I made $18,000. How did I make $18,000? What was the process so that I can make it better the next time so that I can make more money? So the next thing that you accomplish is not going to be the best thing that you accomplish. It shouldn't be the best thing that you accomplish because you're supposed to learn from the thing that you accomplished, again, whether good or bad, to make the next thing the best thing and then the best thing and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna keep saying, focus on the process, not the result, because you should be learning from your actions over time and ultimately moving level by level. And it might be incremental. It might be a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit there and a little bit there. Might not be fast, but it should be growth. You should be moving. And it's so important to not become fixated on an immediate outcome. Like going back to dropping your new arrivals. People are like, dang, my new arrivals are here. I got them today. I photographed them. I need to drop them today because I need that money today. Don't focus on today. Focus on what you could accomplish next week if you just took your time, went through the process, made the money next week. And I'm saying next week, it'd be 2 days from now. You just need to give yourself time to actually implement a process. Sidebar. I know there's a lot of people who assume, people always ask me like, how do I make consistent sales? Things like that. I always make it a point to tell people, I don't be making money every day. I don't make money every minute. I don't make money every hour. I don't know. I need to look at the data. Anyway, every day is not a good day. That's the point. Every day is not a good day. So when people tell me they want to make consistent sales, I always ask them, what does consistent mean to you? Is consistent sales a number of orders? Is consistent sales a amount of money? Is consistent every week, every month, every quarter, every year? What does that mean? because it should mean something to you in particular. For me, consistent is, did I meet my goal at the end of the week and ultimately at the end of the month? More so at the end of the month. And my idea of consistent has evolved over time because my business has grown and it got expenses. I just recorded a YouTube video Friday, which I don't, maybe it'll come out not next week, but the week after week after. But it's all about my expenses. So I have a lot of YouTube videos that are about the money that I've made. I don't have a lot of YouTube videos. I have one YouTube video that's about my expenses, but I think it's from March of 2021, if I remember correctly. So I made an updated video of my expenses in 2023 monthly, and I'll just give you guys a teaser. My monthly recurring expenses in my business are about like $10,000, 10,000, between $10,000 and $13,000 every month. Some of them are fixed expenses, meaning they stay the same. Some of them are variable, which means I can lower them. I can change something about it. But I consistently spend about $10,000 to $13,000 a month in my business. And that's not including inventory, not including it. So for me, I'm concerned with the fact, number one, did I make enough money to cover my expenses? That's number one. Number two, did I make enough money to buy some more inventory? Number three, did I make enough money to make a profit? And I would flip that. Did I make enough money to cover my expenses? Did I make enough money to make a profit? Did I make enough money to buy some more inventory? Let's say it that way. So long story short, people want to know how to make consistent sales, but what is consistent and how much money do you need to make versus how much money do you want to make? Two totally different things, honestly. So the last thing on this list is to adapt and make changes. So as I stated, you don't want to focus on the outcome. You really want to focus on the result. You want to focus on the process. And no matter how it went, good or bad, you want to be willing to adjust, adapt, and make changes. Don't ever become stuck in what your business is right now today. Don't ever become stuck in what somebody else wants for you or what someone else thinks that it should be. Give yourself the permission to evolve. Give yourself permission to grow. Give yourself permission to make changes. What is set in stone today does not have to be set in stone tomorrow. At the end of the day, it's your business. And it is up to you to keep going. It is up to you to learn the lessons that come with mistakes, learn the lessons that come with doing it wrong, and ultimately be willing to keep going. When people ask me why I accomplished what I accomplished so fast, I always tell them it's because I was willing to keep going and make mistakes. That's it. I always tell people always ask me like, how much money did you make in your first year? And I always tell them I have no idea because I didn't focus on the money. I focused on learning. I focused on making mistakes. I focused on figuring it out. So I posted earlier today on my stories and I said, I never had $100,000 year because I had a $200,000 year. I skipped the $100,000 milestone and went straight to 200,000. Why? Because I learned what I needed to learn in the first year. My second year, I made $200,000. First year, I don't think I made $100,000, but I don't know. I have no idea. But I know I learned a bunch of lessons that helped me to make $200,000 the next year. So be willing to learn, be willing to make changes, be willing to be flexible enough to keep going. Don't get stuck in what is right now. Focus on what could be tomorrow, in all honesty, okay? So that was my very long spiel that I did not intend to be as long as it was. But as I stated at the beginning, I don't know how to get to the point super fast, which is why I was like, I'm going to be on YouTube this year because I just want to talk. I just want to say what I need to say in the order that I want to say it. And I can't say it in a 90-second reel. So here we are. Let me answer these last couple of questions in the chat. And then I am going to go cook myself and my husband a dinner. What time does it end? I work at night. That's why I asked. So it depends. So typically it's about 2 hours long. So from 6 to 8 Central or 7 to 9 Eastern. However, every call is recorded. You don't lose access to the calls. And we send out a form every single week where you can submit questions so that we can answer your questions live, so we can walk you through whatever needs to get walked through. So if I need to, record my screen to show you something, we'll make sure that your question gets answered on the call. And obviously the what's it called? Community is open 24/7 to ask questions. Ms. Davis said, that's me right now. I only have a friend I talk to, but she's in nursing school and I run my business. And it's hard to get her to understand, and her advice is just, girl, just enroll in school. Yep, see? I need somebody to understand my entrepreneurship woes. I gave myself the self-paced for holiday. Can I come to the live training? So we have an option for you to apply your payment for the self-paced version to the live coaching. If you're interested, send us the email, support@theboutiqueacademy.com. If I buy a class from you, how do I ask questions if needed? There's a Facebook group for people who purchase the class. I feel like once I get through all your YouTube videos, implement all the free information you provided and understand, then I'll take the classes. You already provide so much for free. I can only imagine all the info in your classes. Yes, it is totally different. Not the information, the implementation. Is your book still available? Yes, it's on Amazon. If you just type my name in on Amazon, my book will come up. ManyChat is a website. They also have an app too, but I recommend looking at it on a computer first before doing it on phone. It's not as seamless looking on a mobile device as it is on a computer. It's just manychat.com. Do you teach from beginner to advanced in your courses? Because I want to start on this path. E-commerce elementary is for people who are just starting out or who are starting over. And my program Boutique Accelerator is for people who are advanced. This is so me. I get so excited to just drop new releases. Been there. Anyone have a skincare brand in the membership? If there's anybody in the room who has a skincare brand who's in the membership, let Shelly know. I have tons of skincare businesses in the membership. I just had a one-on-one call with probably 3 different skincare businesses last week. Love that you're back on YouTube. I've been trying. The point is to learn and teach through your knowledge. Keep doing you. Thank you. Thank you. I try. All right, guys. Well, this has been a blast. I will be back on YouTube at some point. I don't know when, but this is recorded. So if you hopped in late, it will be up for you guys to watch. If you would like to watch it from the beginning, make sure y'all like my video. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already, if it's your first day here. My goal this year is to put out at least 5 YouTube videos a week. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm very extreme when it comes to my goals. So some of them will be live. Some of them will be obviously like pre-recorded. Some of them might be like a full-blown class. Some of them might be like an old webinar that I've hosted at some point. And yeah, I'm gonna be on here a little bit more. So let me know if you guys have any questions or anything. If you're not following me on Instagram, definitely follow me on Insta. I spent all my time there. And other than that, I will see you guys later. Bye.